This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Good evening, fellow Fox fans, England fans, football fans in general. How the devil are we? It's Leicester Till I Die TV, and I'm just laughing because what you guys can't see, but I can, is my co-colleagues all sat in the green room. And I'll tell you something, we'll see how many of them actually have glasses on when they come live, and how many of them have been putting them on. Yeah, and I think Craig just wiped his nose on the screen. But oh, you're a vain lot. You're a vain lot. It's Leicester Till I Die. How are you doing? We are live in Facebook in Leicester Till I Die, the group, Twitter at Leicester TID, and YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. And if you're watching us on YouTube, or if you're not, get over onto YouTube, find the channel, like I say, Leicester Till I Die TV, find a button and press it. Subscribe, notify, ring. If there's a button going, and Brad, you're drunk. If there's a button going, then you've got to press that. And later on, if you want to catch us up and you don't want to watch us, and I'm going to be honest with you, with the gallery of rogues that we've got on tonight, you probably won't want to watch this. And I'm just seeing how long I can talk and Brad still keep that position up without getting tired. But if you want to watch, listen to us, I should say, rather than watch us, Leicester Till I Die on your favourite podcast platform, including Amazon, Spotify, Apple iTunes, and the old goggle there. What a day! What a day. So, you know, we've had Vieira's gone to Palace. Benitez has gone to Everton. Nuno has gone to Spurs. Well, somebody had to eventually. Southgate, he's off to Rome. Yes. But of course, the big news is today is Daka to Leicester. And I'll tell you something, now that I think Sancho's just gone through today, I bet that does not get a mention at all. I'm still laughing at Brad. Doesn't get a mention at all on Sky News. It was all they could do to mention it earlier. But what a signing. Welcome, Daka. It is a pleasure to have you. Tonight, though, what are we going to be doing tonight? We're going to be doing this. The best ever England 11. It's the Leicester War Show.
Battle commence.
it's the Leicester War Show
On Leicester Till I Die TV. But who will win? Join in now.
It is. And with what we thought was our biggest win in years, 55 years. I was actually alive the last time we beat Germany in a competition. I don't know what that says about me, but I thought we're doing well. We could get to the final now. It's all open up. So I thought we would take a look back and we would pick our ultimate England 11 of all time. Now, because of that, the rules, basically, we've stayed at 4-4-2 because it's just easier for everybody. It really is. Keep it up, Brad. I'm talking. You put your arms down. Sorry, he is very off-putting. I'm just going to, because I can't let this poor guy go through this pain anymore. Let's just,
Hello, I've got my specs on. Like everybody else. I'll put my glasses on. That's all I've got.
I would have kept you waiting for another 20 minutes if I could have done.
I know, I'm starting to butt up by that point. Just give me arms and for it. Oh,
I am the music man. It comes from down my way. But we're going for 4-4-2, and you cannot include any players that were in the World Cup winning squad, because that would end up with 11. That's 11. So we're going to see who the best ever England 11 are. We're going to say good evening to Brad. We've already had him, Craig. Good evening to you. Good evening from me.
Good evening. I don't know what you're talking about with any of us being vain. Just come as we are.
Talking of being vain, I think your glasses have slipped on your suntan lotion there, Craig.
Sorry. There we go.
Is it just me, or does anybody else think that Craig looks like he's been on the sunbed today?
I've just gone. This is called Love Island Orange.
Don't start me on Love Island. Whatever you. It was actually. Can you believe it was actually on the lunchtime news the other day?
Was it?
But I've been able to actually get one of the contestants off Love Island. We'll bring him in now, Daniel. Hello.
You nearly spat me water out everywhere then. How you doing, guys?
I can see you on Love Island.
Really? I think my wife would have something to say about that.
I didn't say I wanted to. I'm going to say good to see you. Let's say good evening to Michael. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for joining us. Scott, welcome along, Scott. Hope everybody's well. We are. I say the royal we there. As he says, please. I can see the comments coming up here, guys. Please do what Scott says there. Give us a like. Thanks for that, Scott. TM, hi, guys. She thinks that Craig has been on the drink, and she also thinks, Craig, that you are currently looking like Love Island Orange.
Well, what can I say? It's all real. It's all real. It's not.
Can I just say, we don't want to see your white bits, okay?
No chance.
I do feel like I am the palest person on this show.
Yeah.
I think it's your lighting, Chris.
Sorry?
I think it's your lighting.
Yeah, this is what it is. I'm blaming the lighting. I blame the lighting. I mean, Brad, even you're looking a bit red. Are you still recovering from last night?
Yeah, just maybe a little bit. There was a few times that I found myself rewatching the replays of it. It's still a very good thing that I'm holding.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm anti-German, but I actually watched a few Stan Boardman clips today. Daniel, where were you watching it? Did you have a few tipples?
I had a few beers, mate, afterwards to celebrate. Had to be done.
Yes, did it not? And Craig, I know you were at a friend's house. Did you manage to get home?
I did indeed. I'm just keeping it on the calm, because we can easily get carried away. We've got the mighty Ukraines next, and I watched that game as well. And yeah, to be honest, if we can't beat them, then I think if four of us played, we'd probably still beat the Ukraine.
Yeah, let's not go too mad. England players, England fans getting confident. Who knew?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Let's not get carried away and then insist us four could beat the Ukraine.
I mean, let's be honest with you. One of us here did back North Macedonia to win the whole thing.
That was a bet. That was a bet. You paid through PayPal. I ain't got the evidence, right? Shut up. Leave it.
He's never going to forget that. I have still got the video. But hey, it's all about England tonight, and we did have that massive win. Let's be honest with you. It's a great tournament. We've played 4 games. We're unbeaten. We haven't conceded a goal, and we're into the quarterfinals. What more could we do?
Keep going a lot.
Beat the Jocks. We could have done.
Yeah, but come on, we've got to give the Scots something. That was their biggest game in 30 years, and they're still celebrating the point.
By all accounts, I think we've given them COVID.
Yeah, well, they can't say that we don't give them anything, can they?
Exactly.
2 positive results off England. Great.
Hey, well done there, Brad. Hello, Miss Melina. Thanks for joining us.
Miss Melina.
We are talking 8:45. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, she's still at work. So typical youngster working and on a phone at the same time. Right. Have we all looked at this and have we all got our England team ready to go?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Are you going to make it difficult for me here, or am I going to have some easy choices, do you think?
Yeah, if you just pick my 11, we'll be fine. I mean, no, we should be all right. We should be great.
Modest as always. Dennis Taylor there. You're getting all the nicknames here, Chris. A pick on Craig Knight. The rest of us will just let it carry on. We'll just let it carry on. Gives us the rest. Right, so we're going to go 4-4-2, guys. We're going to... let's have a look. Start with the goalie, which is as good a place as any to start. And whilst we're doing this, just be having a think who you would possibly like as the captain at the end of the day. So we're going to go along the row there and start with Brad. And your choice of goalkeeper, Brad.
Well, you know, with the fact that we're obviously not going for everyone's 11, which would just be the 66 side, this made this probably a bit easier for me to choose. I've gone with David Seaman. After Shelton and Banks, for me, I don't think there's anybody that's come close to as good, as consistent as David Seaman was for England in goal. So for me, he's got to be in the net. Not really much else to put towards that.
And he refused to play naked for Harry's Heroes as well. And you got to give him a few brownie points for that.
Yeah, you do really for that. So. Yeah.
So David Seaman. Well, Craig, are you a Seaman fan?
I can possibly comment. You've gone early, Chris, haven't you? You've gone early.
No, it was a genuine question. Are you a David Seaman fan?
I was interested to hear Brad say that beyond Banks and Shelton, it has to be Seaman. So I don't know why he didn't go for Shelton. So I've gone for Shelton.
I didn't know Shelton with the 66 squad. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't remember him being in there, and I forgot to double check before I changed it because I originally had Banks. So that's probably me. That's my fault.
Brad, a little bit like Daniel there, that he didn't read the rules properly because Daniel had half the 66 club in there, didn't you, Daniel?
Yeah. Well, I would have had some of them for sure. But...
Yeah. So for goal, Daniel, who have you gone?
I've gone for Peter Shelton. 125 caps for England in an era when he was rotated with Ray Clemence a lot. So
yeah.
How many caps would he have got if Ray Clemence wasn't about? Not missing Ray Clemence because he was a good goalkeeper as well. And Shelton had, I think, 10 clean sheets in actual World Cup games, not qualifiers, actual World Cup games. So I think that's a record. So
it is. That's the thing. I mean, 125. I think he isn't. Is he England's most capped player?
I think he is. I think he still is. Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. He certainly was. Unfortunately, guys, I thought that was going to happen. Let me just see if I can get another screen up because that particular app doesn't allow me to go that far back and get those players in, which is typical. But hey, I have a backup. I have a backup. He says,
yeah.
You're impressed, aren't you?
Yeah. I can't believe I just assumed Shelton was there at 66. I completely forgot when I wrote my goalkeepers. This could go well with me.
He played in Italia 90. That was his third World Cup that he was in, 82, 86 and 90.
Yeah, I don't know what because they're so both great for England, I didn't even think to check. My brain just went when Chris reminded me I had to take 66 players out because I had Banks in. And I'm assuming it would have been between them two. So I just went, well, the only one keeper I could think of was Seaman. And then Craig reminded me that Shelton wasn't there in 66. So I could have picked Shelton. So I'm glad that you guys did that for me. Thanks for that, guys.
Brad, at least if anything, Brad, you've lost the argument there. And I didn't really have much to choose because I would have gone for Shelton myself, and B, two of the guys went for Peter Shelton as well. He was in the squad that came third, which is as well as we, we came fourth, didn't we? Because we lost to Italy in Italia 90. But he gets there. But Brad, as a consolation, you have made Molina. You made an Arsenal fan very happy here.
Well, I at least get something right for someone, don't I? So it works out, I guess.
Box, no, nobody in their right mind would go for David James.
I think Seaman's got to be questionable. Anybody who can grow a ponytail and be taken seriously is.
This is it. I mean, let's be honest with you.
That says it all. You know what? I don't like the show anymore. Dan, your decisions are wrong. I'm not.
At least me and Dan didn't come as Peter Shelton.
That's correct.
I was going to say something then about Peter Shelton, and it's completely. I was thinking of the ponytail, and it's completely gone out of my mind. But nobody has said. Nobody said David James at all. Oh, that was it. Apparently, De Gea has actually applied for dual citizenship, so he can get a British passport, play for England, and miss penalties. Boom, boom. There we go. It wasn't worth it, really, was it? It wasn't worth waiting for. No. Right, let's move on. Left back in the dressing room, Brad. Back to you, folks. We'll just carry on in the same order. So, Brad, who have you gone for at left back?
I am useless, as you know, when it comes not just to naming goalkeepers, apparently, but knowing my left and right back. So I kind of picked defender, and I think I went with an actual left back when he played for England. I've gone with Stuart Pearce.
Yeah.
Because my knowledge is limited when it comes to seeing players in the flesh, and I like to go off what I vaguely remember seeing a shirt. And I know Psycho Stuart Pearce is one of the defining people you think of when you hear passion and the three lions. So I've got Stuart Pearce.
You would have him down as one of the first names on your team sheet if he was in your squad, wouldn't you? And I think
if he was available and of age, yeah, you'd put him in there.
Yeah, I mean, I will never. My memory of Stuart Pearce isn't the fact that when he missed in Euro '96, and I think he gets away with that. Is it Euro? No, it wasn't Euro. When did he miss, Pearce? But it was it was in the Italia. I think it was in the Italia. Whatever. He missed in the World Cup, but my memory of him is when he scored that goal in Euro '96 against Spain. Kind of summed it up. You wouldn't want to meet him down a dark alley at 2 o'clock in the morning, would you? No. Talking of which, Craig, do you like to put at left back?
Craig's
gone. Has he frozen?
He froze. It looks like he's frozen.
It does look like. Are you frozen, Craig? I think we've got to let it go. Let it go.
Do you want to go to me?
We'll go on to Dan. Yes. Let me just while you're doing that, I'm just going to try and message him.
Yeah. I've actually gone for Psycho as well. So if that helps your decision making process.
It does. I mean, it doesn't matter really who Craig has gone for, really, doesn't it? I mean, I think what's happened with Craig, his face has melted onto his laptop, and it's frozen his buttons up. Well, I will say that because he's not here. Don't anybody tell him. Don't anybody tell him I said that. You know?
I mean, if you want to give you some reasons why I've gone for him, it's just his leadership skills and his aggression. That's why I've gone for him. He would be like my first player on the team sheet. He just sums up, he epitomises Englishness to me. You know what I mean? That
he does. And like I said, I think that goal he scored, in Euro '96, a penalty against Spain, that put a lot of demons to rest for him. But he's the sort of player you'd want to. If your backs were against the wall, if you were losing, he'd be the one that would come and grab you and shove you up against the wall and tell you to get on with it, Ashley Cole, guys. Scott's suggesting Ashley Cole there, but...
Wasn't he a right back?
Sorry?
Wasn't he right back, Ashley Cole?
No, he was actually left back, Ashley Cole. But yeah, I don't think you can see past Stuart Pearce, and I think
he was definitely a contender. He was definitely a food for thought sort of player that I kind of did look at. I tried to get two for each position and kind of pick between them. And like you just said there, I honestly just couldn't pick ahead of Stuart Pearce. Ashley Cole was a great left back for England. His off-field antics left a lot to be desired, but picking for England, he would be a great, reliable backup for Stuart Pearce, in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought Craig was back then. I hope Craig's okay. So we're going to go just to confuse Brad, because we've just confused him saying left back. We'll jump over to the right back.
The only one I could think of, the only one that stands like a sore thumb to me, Gary Neville. Ever reliable, did his job well. Passion ran through him, and he was arguably the better of the Neville brothers. I don't think there's many people that wouldn't think or strongly consider having Gary Neville in their 11. So I'd be shocked and intrigued to hear an argument for anyone that hasn't gone for Neville. But at the moment, any other person that has the potential to tell me otherwise is Dan. So I shall see.
I can see where you're coming from with Gary Neville. Not everybody's favourite, but he did a job for us. But Daniel, who have you gone for in the old right back position?
Well, I've obviously got my left and right back because I've gone for Ashley Cole at right back. So I'm going to concede and say Gary Neville. Because
if you were Roy Hodgson, I'd let you get away with that.
Well, I tell you what, being as I forgot keepers, I'll take that. But if they'll Craig can't even be bothered to come on now. His internet's bugged him up, so at least we both got one wrong, mate.
well, so I've got to choose between a right back and a left back for the right back position, haven't I?
I mean,
it's got to be Gary Neville.
Craig's answer, if you want to. If you wish to, just in case Craig does something different, you could put Neville in there for now and then change it.
Off the hoof, I just can't think of another right back off the top of my head.
Craig has just met. Craig's got internet issues. Tinternet's broken and all. Tinternet's gone down. He says he'll be back, and he agrees with Pearce. So you've all three gone for Pearce. I'll add Neville in now. And we shall. We can go back and catch up with him when he comes back in. So, got Pearce and Neville. Yeah, I can say Neville did absolutely nothing wrong for us. He was reliable, and yeah, I think he does deserve his place in there. Right, centre backs. It doesn't matter right or left. We're just going to go for two centre backs. Make it easy for you, Brad, and obviously Daniel as well now.
I think I'm all right with the rest of my picks, mate. It's only that one.
I'm dreading getting to left midfield and right midfield, to be honest with you.
I've got that. It's all right.
Well, I hope I get that as well, to be honest with you.
All right, well, let's hurry up and get back in, Craig, please. I need you. Centre back, Brad. Let's go. Compose ourselves. Let's go for centre back. What was your first choice for centre back?
I was just about to ask, do you want me to reel off both of them, or do you want me to...
No, just do one. And then if you've got the same as one of them, just say that and we can put it into that position. Sure. Yeah.
I've gone for the man who wore his blood on his shirt and on his head, the infamous, iconic picture that everybody remember of Terry Butcher. I don't think there's a more patriotic moment to condemn our England wore blood and guts to a tournament when fans fondly remember the time. I've just got Terry Butcher as my first name down straight away at centre back. As soon as I realised this criteria, he was the first one I put there instantly. I've got Terry.
Yeah, you can't look past that. I mean, that iconic picture of him with the the bandage around his head. What game was that? Was that Cameroon? I think, wasn't it, that game?
I believe so. It's one of them where you kind of forget who you're playing, you just remember the image, and it just makes you think of England in the sense of it's just a beautiful picture to see someone in that state and not care and just wanting to get on with the game and win it for his country.
Yeah, and I think because I seem to remember him shouting like, bring on the Germans after, because I think we got the Germans in the semi. But he's back from outer space. Just turning around now, and the look of Craig. Did your suntan oil drip onto your laptop and blow the power? Yes. Yeah. Daniel, we'll come to you in a minute. We've gone for Pearce as left back. We had Daniel got quite a little bit confused with his left and his right and what he was putting in and taking out. We'll end up with Gary Neville, but we'll come back to you with who would have been your choice for right back?
I think for me there was only a couple in contention. Gary Neville was one of them, so I can't really argue with that. But I had Viv Anderson.
Centre off.
Right back.
Was it? Wow. I always thought of him. I'll be honest with you, but my memory is not what it was. Viv Anderson, I see where you're coming with that. I am going to stick with Neville, to be honest with you, because I do think you did, and you did have him anyway. I think he was one of our best players. Daniel, back to you.
Centre
There's a little chat going in the chat about England games coming up, but nobody's arguing with any of you as who they'd play.
I've
Daniel,
gone for Rio Ferdinand.
Oh,
I've actually backed that one as well, to be honest with you.
But
I've backed that.
I've gone for him because
Ferdinand,
he's a Rolls Royce. Sorry, mate. Go on.
No, so I was just saying I had two choices and I narrowed it down to Ferdinand as well.
Yeah, he's just brilliant on the ball. I don't think you can beat him for technical ability. But I mean, obviously, what Butcher's got in aggression and patriotism, he's got in skill and ability. He's just passing the ball, positional awareness and pace. He's got it all, and he's got to go in my team. Sorry, but yeah, there you go.
Craig, do you have either of those two or neither of those two? If you got one of those two, saying we can obviously use that for that position, but.
I've got Terry Butcher as well. Right. I mean, he was just again alongside the same as Pearce. If you want character and someone who would bleed for the cause, I think Ferdinand's a decent shout. Yeah, there he is. I mean, Ferdinand's a good shout, and I think if you have that mix of a sort of warrior type alongside someone who can cover you and play a bit of football, then I think it's a perfect blend. But yeah, Terry Butcher would have to be in there for me.
Yeah. That was a graphic I did for YouTube to advertise the show, and the fact that I've got Shelton, Butcher, and Pearce in there, I didn't know who you guys were going to go for. I'm obviously just a wise old owl, Craig. But I think I agree. Yeah, I mean Butcher, he just epitomised Bulldog spirit, didn't he?
Again, in three World Cups he was in, 77 caps. He was the backbone of that, and he was, probably the one thing that you could say this present England team and England teams over the past couple of years have lacked is sort of leadership. And I think Butcher was a born leader. The same with Pearce, Shelton as well. And I think I would imagine that throughout this team, when we finish this team, there'll be a lot of leaders in this team as well as skillful players.
Captain's going to be an interesting choice for us all, isn't it? Because I think you got three captains in there already. Other centre midfielder, Brad.
Oh, we're going centre mid. Okay.
Sorry, centre half. Sorry, I do apologise. Centre half. Sorry, Brad.
I backed Daniel with his decision. I'd gone with Ferdinand. I'd gone with Ferdinand and Butcher. They were my two.
I've got another one as well. I haven't told you my other one. It's not Butcher, but
okay. So we got Ferdinand in there. Daniel, your choice.
My other one was Sol Campbell.
Not a bad shout.
Strong, great athlete, great physical presence, a great positioning. He's a goal threat in the air. He's got pace, great feet. his probably only downside was his distribution. But other than that, I think he'd have to be one of my two. But there you go. I went for him and Rio Ferdinand as my back centre halves.
Right, good shout. Craig's gone again. Just.
But I'll concede Sol Campbell anyway. If I can get Rio in
back. He's going to change his team. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, playing the internet, but really I'm writing this down as I'm going along. Craig, we're missing you. Come back, you know. Well, I'm going to have to make... whether it be Ferdinand, I mean, Ferdinand was a really, really, really good shout. Campbell, I'd forgotten about, and again, when you look at the guy, you know, that goal that he should have scored against Argentina, that was ruled offside in the World Cup. You know, the look on his face as he was running back. I mean, yeah, he was another colossus, wasn't he, Campbell?
Yeah.
So we're going to go for Campbell.
I think he was a better footballer than Butcher, in my opinion. But I mean, Butcher probably had, the patriotism side and the never say die attitude. But
I think he also had the.
I'm fine.
Sorry, Brad.
Sorry, I was just more nonchalantly agreeing that I'm happy to see either Ferdinand or Campbell in that role, because until it was mentioned, I forgot about it myself.
I mean, if I had the choice between one of them, I'd have to go for Ferdinand if I'm honest. But
I think for me with Butcher, yeah, okay, so he wasn't the greatest technician, but you don't necessarily want that as a defender. You just want somebody that's going to, as that picture showed there, die for the cause and put his body in. I mean, how many times do we see, the Chelsea defender when Tielemans scored in the FA Cup, turning his back on the ball? There was one in the game the other day, Sweden-Ukraine, and he did exactly the same, hands behind the back, turning against the ball, and the ball went past him. You couldn't imagine Butcher doing that, Butcher would be there going, come on, shoot it at me, I can take it, kick it at me. If you think you can kick it at me, come on. You can see him doing that.
But could he ping a 30-yard pass like Rio Ferdinand could and split defence? Probably not.
Possibly not. No, possibly not. But I just like his do or die. You're really fighting for Rio Ferdinand, aren't you? What's he got over you?
Campbell, and then he's fighting my battle. I like this.
He was a record transfer for a centre half, I believe. So.
He was, at the time from Leeds to Man United. Craig, come and sort this out. Ferdinand or Campbell for the other, or have you got somebody else?
I've got somebody else. I've had to switch the phone.
You would have, you awkward bugger. It isn't. Can I just say it isn't Craig's internet? I'm actually cutting him out because he's being bloody awkward.
I've gone for a guy who got 59 caps for England, and if you're talking about Rolls Royces, this is another one. Dez Walker.
Oh, Dez Walker.
Now,
too many Forest players in here for my liking.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Yeah. Dez Walker.
Yeah, he's probably the only defender I ever had a song about him in terms of the fact that you couldn't beat him. Pace to burn, was cultured on the ball, was a tough guy as well, and I think he'd be the perfect foil for Butcher. The other two guys, you can't really argue either against those, but for me, Dez Walker just edged it.
Yeah, Box, he said here, brought it up before, just to bring it up again here. Too soon for Slabhead. Yeah, I think everything's too soon for Slabhead. Yeah. Yeah, including keeping the bars open in Greece. But I've got to choose between three now, haven't I? Well, I haven't, because I'd already knocked Ferdinand out. Walker. No, I'd forgotten about Walker. No, I'm going to stick with Campbell. I'm going to stick with Campbell, I think.
Craig, I'm going to change your nickname to Spanners because you like to throw one in the works, don't you?
Wasn't it Dez Walker? He was in the wall when that goal went in and over Shelton's into the goal in the World Cup. Was that Dez Walker?
I'm not.
Oh, no, that was a little guy, wasn't it? He ran forward and the ball caught him and it went over Shelton. Yes, yeah. Ignore me. I know you usually do, but
I've got a nickname, Craig.
Yeah,
it's David Dickinson with that suntan.
Oh, Craig! Well, at least he didn't.
Sorry, the connection's going again.
He is David Dickinson. This is his natural look. When he's on the telly, he just put the wig on, you know. Hey, Craig, at least he didn't go for...
Pick on the guy with the poor internet connection. I bet as soon as I go offline, you just pull him into bits.
I'm going to say it's a good... Do you want to hear what we say when you're not here?
Yeah.
Dale Winton got a mention, but we won't go down that road.
I'm sure you won't again.
Again, no. It was a good night. We'll just leave it at that. Okay, Brad. Now we're going to go left midfield. Now, as you're looking at me, that's that hand there.
Oh, I know that. But when I tried to make sure if they played on the left midfield for England, even Google got confused. So I decided that there was one person that I had to get him on midfield, and to my knowledge, according to Google, he did play a couple of times actually out on the left, and you probably could tell me he either played no games or all of his games out there. I went with Paul Scholes. So if I'm wrong, the other two can have it. I know, that's what I thought, but Google swears blind that he had a game at left mid. I was like, well,
I've got Paul Scholes, he's a central midfielder.
Yeah, I know, but Scholes apparently had a couple of games at left mid, and honestly, I searched left mid England players, and Google went, all of them, the midfielders. That's all it gave me. I left mid for me were.
In fairness, and I mean, Paul Scholes did stand down from his England role because he was being played out of position, if my memory serves me right.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, Chris, if it helps, because I mean, Brad's got him on the left. Dan's got him in the middle. If it helps, I haven't got him at all.
I thought you were going to say you got him on the right then, just to sort of complete the.
You got the whole thing and said you got him right back in the changing rooms. Come on.
Well, we'll quickly move on to save Brad's blushes. I didn't think he was left midfield, but Daniel.
I've gone for John Barnes. Just for that rap. He's got to be in there just for that rap. It's iconic. And plus the fact that he was really great.
He was, and I mean,
great left foot, graceful, great dribbling, pace, strength.
Yeah.
He had a lot. 11 goals as well, 79 caps. Got him. We'll put him in there. Do it.
And do we remember the goal against Brazil?
We do. What a goal.
Yes.
One of the best England
and
ever, that is.
I know he's going to live off that for ages. But, Daniel, almost by magic, you mentioned the rap, and I think, you know, we should all have a go at this because I've got the words here.
Oh, no, not a chance.
Who's up for doing the England rap?
No.
Can we all have a go after three?
Yeah, I think we should, Craig, don't you?
All right. Go on then. After three. 1, 2, 3.
You've got the whole to give, but do it at the right time. You could be slow or fast, but you must get to the line. They'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack. There's only one way to beat them. Get round the back.
Catch me if
you can, because I'm the England man. And what you're looking at is the master plan. We ain't no hooligans. This ain't a football song. Hands on my chest. I know we can't go wrong. That was probably the worst rendition of the. Guys, well, hey, let's give ourselves a round of applause. I think we deserve it for that.
And a round of applause for anyone who's still watching.
Yeah, actually, the viewing figures have dropped. The viewing figures have dropped on that. You know, we'll probably get Meghan Markle will complain to the ITC or whatever it is about it. Hey, bonus point here. Can guess who wrote that rap?
Probably John Barnes.
No,
New Order, wasn't it? Was it New Order?
No, they didn't know because they'd record. This is sad that I actually know this, but they'd recorded the song, and the guy that did Vindaloo was in it as well. And he said, "Oh, we could just do with the rap then." Craig Johnson, the footballer, who was there recording it, he went off and he wrote it in literally like 5 minutes, apparently, and it has become that classic that I think we have just done full justice to it, and probably there is going to be a demand to bring the song out again. TM, thanks very much. How to sing?
Just a bit.
How very dare you? How very dare you? Let's be honest with you. I mean,
that was the delay on the internet. That's the excuse.
Yeah, this is it. Hey, next week we're going to do Diamond Lights by Waddle and Hoddle. Where were we? Yes, I'm going to clip that. That's going to be a jingle. Craig, left back, get us out of this mess.
So left midfield.
Left midfield. Oh God, yeah. I'm gone. Left midfield.
One of my favourite all-time players. There's a few of my favourite all-time players in my 11, but this guy is in there, and you've segued in very nicely. Chris Waddle for me. I just loved watching him play. His first thought when he got the ball was, "Can I take someone on? Can I dribble past someone?" You know, they're the sort of players I love. You know,
the
someone
guy
who
had
wants
a mullet.
Yeah, he did. He had a marvellous mullet in the days when, apart from Brad, probably the rest of us had hair as well. Oh God, this is that's a great shout. Two great shouts. Sorry, Brad, not you.
I really struggled on this. I had so many midfielders, I forgot which one played where, and I was just like, I don't know, Scholes, because it's the only one that says he played left mid. I was like, my Scholes on left mid.
Yeah, I do remember that sort of 9 minutes he played midfield against Andorra in a friendly once.
It was against South Macedonia. That's what I was saying.
And that's why South Macedonia doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
CG, come on. What do you mean? I mean, how? Don't call us, we'll call you. We are the new East Life.
We're the old kids on the block.
Yeah, we certainly are, Craig. Love it. So, I can't put Paul Scholes in there. Sorry, Brad. As much as
someone will correct me and put him in his position and tell me to put him in the midfield like he should be.
Waddle or Barnes? Oh God, that's the I do feel like Barnes should be there just for the rap, to be honest with you. And
the football show.
I think the fact that we're
as well.
And I think the fact that we have just destroyed any chance he has of ever doing that again, we should put him in. But Waddle, yes.
Come on,
I mean, the guy looked knackered just walking out onto the pitch, didn't he? You know what I mean? He never.
He was. I mean, I think the word is languid. I think that's the only word for it. But he used to just drift past people. For me, it was just his positivity. You know, he had no other thought as, "Can I get at someone?"
Well, look, I honestly cannot decide because I so want to say Barnes just so he can do the rap again at the end. But because I can't decide, I'm going to have to go with the guys in the chat. TM is saying Waddle.
Oh, the Spurs fan.
I think yes, indeed. And I think that's regarding the player, not the way that he actually ran. And CG.
You can't have a player with a mullet in there.
Yeah. CG is also going Waddle. But of course, we could actually drop him out because of the awful Diamond Lights. You know, if we're comparing the England wrap to Diamond Lights, I mean, you'd have to go Barnes every time. But no, in fairness, we will go with our viewers, and we're going to add Waddle in there.
Well done, viewers.
Yeah. So sorry, I was tempted with Barnes, Daniel. I won't lie to you. I was very, very tempted, but yeah, I had to go for. We've had to go with the majority. You know, never let it be said that this is a dictatorship. Come on, Brexit. Right, so we're going to jump over, and I'm really dreading saying this now to Brad. I really am dreading this. But right midfield, it's probably, got to be honest with you, he's probably got David Seaman there as well.
No, I've got David Beckham. So anyone sprang to mind.
I've got Beckham as well.
For me, that's it. He's just. I tried to think past David Beckham as a selection for who stands out as that, and can you really have a team without golden balls in it? I don't know. I mean, I know it's a game show as well, but not to be confused with that. I mean, the player, not the game show. I just don't think
I said, you mean Jasper Carrot on the right wing?
Yeah, I'll put him on the left because the Skulls can't play there. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, I went with David Beckham. I went with the obvious, the original, but
yeah.
He's obvious and original for a reason, in my opinion.
I think you agreed with that, didn't you, Daniel?
Yeah, I chose Beckham for right. I couldn't see past him, to be honest. His influential goals, that free kick against Greece, 15 caps, 17 goals, set pieces, vision, crossing ability. What else can you say? He was the man, and he was England through and through. I know he had that red card against Argentina all them years ago, and everybody wanted to lynch him up. But after that, he just grew, didn't he? And he forgave him, and he reinvented himself. And what a career that lad had, and
It's funny with footballers how as us fans we soon forgive them when they miss the goal, and then 10 minutes later they score the goal. It's only the best one. But
look at me, Nacho.
Yeah, exactly.
Harry Kane the tournament until he scored.
Daniel, don't you do a Brad? You can't have Inacho in this team. Okay, he's Nigerian.
I'm just using the analogy there, Chris.
Yeah, he carried us so many times. He got us through so many games. I mean, that Greece game, to be honest with you, I think there was only him on the pitch because the other 10 were absolutely bloody rubbish. But Craig, are you going to go against, the man, the myth, the legend, Alex Ferguson's punch bag that is Mr. David Beckham?
Well, I know you'd like me to throw a spanner in the works, but I can't. It's Beckham. You both mentioned it. That performance against Greece was one of the best solo performances I've seen from an England player. He ran, he covered every inch of that pitch, and then to top it off with a free kick. I don't think you can look beyond him, to be honest.
No. That if ever there was a game where one player stood out more than any other for England, we've had some great players down the years. There's the Bobby Moores, if we're going that far back, and the Gordon. But that was, I don't think he ever had a better performance than that for an England shirt. No. But yes, he did, like Daniel said. He had his silly moment. He was a kid against Argentina, and we all hated him. And of course, the first game back in England, of course, away from Man United, was against Leicester. And he went and scored a free kick. So we hated him even more until the next England game. But making it easy now for Brad, because we're going in the centre, Brad. in the centre.
I'm going to go for the one I had to change from my original lineup. And I'm going to go with Robson. That's who I have in there.
Right. Somebody's computer. I'm a bit worried that's Craig, and he's going to go in a minute.
Yeah, his other piece, he's
dripping again.
Windows 10.
I've just plugged myself in.
Did you say Robson?
Robson in the middle.
Right, Robson.
Yeah.
His stats match it. He was a littered career for England. vast number of caps. He's a very difficult pairing to put together. There's going to be lots of people that won't agree with any that gets said out here. They'll mix it up. I think this is where the area that England have been blessed with over the years. But I've got an iconic name next to him, so I decided to go with one that fits the bill for me as the most all-round, one of the most all-round centre mids.
Brad, if you've got Carlton Palmer there, Brad, I'm going to kick you out now.
I've got Brian Robson. I thought you said centre back, and I put him in there next to him.
Yeah, Brian Robson, Daniel. Yeah, the original captain, fantastic, really, wasn't he?
He was.
I don't know. He was the scorer of the fastest ever England goal. I don't know whether that still stands or not against France. In
23 seconds, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah. It was. That was before France got good. We won that game. I think that was 1990, I think. But great player. Injuries, unfortunately, cut short his career. Didn't do bad as a manager, but have you got him?
I've got Brian Robson in mine. I mean, he's a complete midfielder. He's box to box. He's a serious golfer. I think he got 26 goals as well for England. Super movement. He was brave. He was surprisingly good in the air for his size. So, I've got him in there. For 4-4-2, I've gone for two complete midfielders. I've not gone for any show ponies. So I haven't got a Gazza or anybody like that. So I've gone for two complete midfielders. So, yeah, Brian Robson's in there for me.
So 2 for Brian Robson. Piers Morgan at the end there. You're going to be awkward and go for.
To be honest, originally I was going to go for Robson, but then I thought, I decided to go for the guy who made him look good. I don't think without him he would have been the player that he turned out to be. So I've gone for Jerome.
Silence.
I mean, and talk about knowing your audience.
Is anybody else scratching their head with that?
Yeah.
Right. Brian Robson is what I'm going for. Not Robson and Jerome. To explain, if you have to explain a gag. If you have to explain it, it's no good, is it? Yeah.
When you put the sentences in the right order, that made a fair decent comment.
I have finally dragged Craig down to my level.
I tell you what, if I knew it was that easy to get rid of Craig from this, I wouldn't have bothered tampering with it.
I'm trying to think that I don't know if it's just me. I'm thinking, was there an England player called Jerome? And I was quiet, and I'm thinking that if I stay quiet, usually one of you guys will sort of pipe up and say that nobody did. It was just that pregnant pause there that we all had. Thank you, Craig. Craig is here all week, everybody. So if anybody wants to go home now, we just lost a few more watchers there, but I'm almost tempted to put Jerome in now just to shut you up, Craig. But yeah, I mean, I would have had Robson in there without a shadow of a doubt. I agree totally. So we have got, and Box has just given me his list, but let us first of all get the second midfielder in. Brad.
Well, Dan's not going to agree with me. I know that because he's already named him. Get me in the dentist chair position and get me a water bottle. Paul Gascoigne.
I'm going to object to him being in there, but I haven't put him in there. No,
that's fine, mate. I'm interested to hear who you got alongside him. So, but I have got Gascoigne. I had Gascoigne and Robson in mine. So
for me, it's a bit of a luxury in a 4-4-2. I think you need two complete midfielders who can do everything. Do you know what I mean? You need guys that can tackle as well as pass. And So carry on, mate.
Yeah. So that's Gascoigne, the man that is a walking advert for the brewery, but he had some sublime touches, and that goal against Scotland was even sweeter because it was against Scotland. Daniel, we know you've not got him because you said earlier, and you've just said again there.
Yeah.
Who have you got?
I've gone for Paul Scholes. Is another.
No, he's on the left. What you put? You put him in the wrong position.
There's left midfielders out there. Gosh.
I mean, again, he's an all-round midfielder. Can pass. He's tenacious. He wins the ball back. I mean, he could play anywhere. Actually, he's that good technically. So yeah, he's got to be in.
Don't put him on the left then. If he's that good.
No. But he probably could play there, in fairness. But you know.
Well, I have a feeling we might have the first one where we've actually got a different three, because I'm wondering who Craig's going to go for.
Well, I mean, Paul Scholes was a good shout, but I got a little bit confused when you said you put somebody in there who could tackle, and then you said Paul Scholes, probably the worst midfield tackler there's ever been. But a fantastic passer of the ball and could score a goal. He was a great player. But for me, you've got to have someone who occupies the opposition as well. And the more they worry about a member of the opposition, then it creates space for other players. So I'm with you, Brad. It's Paul Gascoigne for me.
Now, I kind of see where you're coming from, because Gascoigne was one of the first names I kind of put down. Unfortunately, Daniel, Scholes, I can't go for Scholes, and it's not, you know, he could only play when the sun wasn't out anyway, couldn't he? But allegedly, some would say he just couldn't play at all, but that wouldn't be me. But Gascoigne is an excellent shout, and you know, he could turn a game. He was one of those players. Yes, he's a luxury. I totally agree 100%. He is a luxury, but he's a luxury that, you know, like with that Scotland game, he wasn't having a particularly good game up until then, or even a particular tournament.
He was substituted, I reckon.
Yeah, a lot of the fans had been calling for him to be dropped, and then he goes and pulls off something like that. But Box, I mean, he named some here: Scholes, Robson, Hoddle. Yeah, Hoddle, Waddle. Waddle always makes me laugh.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's just my
Lampard,
childish sense of humour.
That was so hard to choose. It really was.
Yeah, Platt, Gazza, Gerrard, Lampard, Ince, Molina, who I think got to give points to Molina because she's not actually picked an Arsenal player there. Scholes, Lampard, Gerrard.
I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I would pick Gascoigne, but I mean, for that formation, I think he's a luxury. But you know,
I think he's. I mean, he's that sort of player. I mean, the closest we've got now is a Grealish. When Grealish gets on the ball, the whole stadium is lifted because they think he's going to do something special. And I think it was the same with Gascoigne. You know, there's not many of those players that the whole stadium, the whole country expects that they can do something amazing. And just for that, you know, for that sort of, you know, just joy of playing football. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to get mixed up in anything else. He just loved playing football. He was representing us almost.
I think he wanted to get mixed up in loads of things, like taking buses for drives and bugging about.
Yeah, he was mad, isn't he? I mean, he's just mad as a hatter, but just on the pitch, he just wanted to play football, and I loved him for it.
I love Gascoigne, like I say, and he deserves to be in there just for scoring that goal against that team.
I'm happy for him to be in there. You know, I'm not going to get upset about that one.
No, but he's not going in. I'm going to overrule. I'm going to. Yes, I am using my casting vote because at the end of the day, he was a luxury. For whatever reason, Hoddle didn't take him when he was manager. But this player, to me, you could always rely on him, a bit like Robson and a bit like Beckham, to actually get a game by the scruff of the neck and drag it and drag the players through. And I think he led by example so much. I am going to go for Steven Gerrard. and that is met with a wall of silence.
Yeah, I mean,
the only reason I say that, the reason I'm silent about it is I can't remember a specific game that Gerrard played in that I can remember. No game springs to mind for me. He was a great player. Lampard was a great player, but I can't remember him having that level of an impact on a game.
I think
none of us put him down in either position. Says a lot for the other
it's
one.
Chris's show.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, that none of you put him down just shows that you were all wrong. And like I said many a time, this isn't a democracy. This is a dictatorship. No, for me, I mean, I love Gaza, and everything Craig said about Gaza was true. You know, he wanted to play for the Tears when he got booked at that time. You know, had he actually made contact with the ball and scored against the Germans, I might have been tempted to actually put him in. But you gotta. What were you doing? You stopped. You know, I just think for the overall round, take the Scotland goal out of the equation. Would Gascoigne still be remembered as the player that we remember him as, if you like, if that makes sense? I
think Gerrard will always be remembered as a Liverpool player, not an England player.
I think they were always trying to get him and Lampard to gel together.
For Liverpool, he was phenomenal. You know, you can't argue. He would be in an all-time Liverpool 11 every day of the week. But I just can't remember him imposing himself enough on an England shirt for me.
Well,
your choice, Chris, obviously. So
yeah. I mean, I'm surprised at anything. I was expecting you to say that Scholes gets in, and I could have been grumbling because obviously I put Scholes in the wrong position, so he would have made my team at any point. But to hear Gerrard after all the names that were mentioned, it's very understandable. But I have to go with Craig. I concur with Craig. There's just not that moment that stands out for me in remembrance of what Gerrard did. Apart from cause the bigger debate, who's better, him or Lampard? That's the only thing I ever remember about Gerrard in the sense of what do I remember him doing for England? I remember him being the talking point of which one of them should start for England. And whereas with Gascoigne, he take the Scotland out, but there were still them moments. Like you said, the shirt to the face, the tears in the eyes moment. Gascoigne was meant for moments. And that's just why, for me, I had him in there. I had him there for exact reasons that Craig just said. Luxury, and he was a man of the moment. And in a sense, England get the chance to appreciate him for as long as we would have liked to. I think.
Well, all I can say to that.
Unbelievable, Jeff.
Unbelievable. Look, excuse me. We've got 2 players to go, 2 strikers. This could be the most interesting. That went on longer than I thought. Craig, you could have nipped to the toilet while that one was on.
Yeah.
I need to change that for the shorter version. Somebody here actually, Dean Hawkins obviously agreed with you, Craig, about Gerrard, but I'm ignoring him. But he does say Scholes would be in mine. Xavier and Nesta said he was the best midfielder out there, and that's good enough for me. Sorry, Dean. Again, even Craig didn't go for Paul Scholes, so what can I say? You know,
he did, right on the left.
No, that was Brad. Or didn't Brad put him in goal at the start? I'm not sure. I get confused.
I was a hit man originally.
Yeah. Brad, let's go back to you then for the first strike. Again, guys, it doesn't matter right or left here. I'm not too fussed about that. But at the end of the day, if one guy says one that you've got, then stick him on the same side and we can put him in. Who are you going to go for, Brad?
Honestly, this is the same as a centre mid pairing. I think there's any two could go up from here within reason. I mean, I've obviously gone for the man of the myth, the legend, Heskey and Heskey. No, I've not really. I've picked, my first choice I'm going to let you know I picked is Alan Shearer. I don't think I need to say more than that. If you look at his England record, his credentials, Alan Shearer, for me, has to be a strong talking point. The other one I'm probably more certain should get in.
Well, yeah.
Shearer's the one I'm voicing for first.
Yeah, so Shearer in Shearer. Daniel, are you a Shearer fan?
Shearer, I've gone for Wayne Rooney.
Rooney, right.
Yeah. 120 caps, 53 goals. He had everything, didn't he? I mean, creative, energy, skill, physical strength, great in the air. Good supporting role as well. He could drop into midfield if you needed him to. He could be that creative spark. Dropping deeper if he needed to.
I see what, and I must admit, I'm quite tempted to put Rooney in there just for the fact that he's nearly taken Derby down to the third tier.
Well, that would be a feather in his cap, wouldn't it? I mean, he might well get it, yeah. Come on.
All right, Craig.
53 goals.
53 goals, yeah. Yeah, he was the biggest goal scorer. I think the most goals scored for England, didn't he?
Yeah. I mean, most of them were against North Macedonia, but...
Hey, it was East Macedonia at the time. Thank you very much.
Bring some sense and sensibility to this, Craig. Come on.
I think you're after the wrong guy, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it was said in hope more than than anything.
After my Robson and Jerome gag, I'm just going to play it straight from here on in. I think.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, it's difficult to argue against Wayne Rooney, isn't it? His goal scoring record, but I for some reason I never warmed to him, and I don't think I'm alone. He's probably someone who I think he's probably someone over time. We'll probably appreciate more than we actually do now or did at the time. But I'm going to go for Shearer as well. I think just a bloody mindedness to score goals and he was what you want. Not as biggest.
I'll remind you, we kicked one of our players in the head and should have got sent off.
He did.
Daniel plays that card. Daniel's getting nasty at the end.
I think all of these players have probably hurt Leicester at one point or another. But for me, Shearer wasn't the biggest, but he was bloody brave, and he'd go in where it hurt. He just wanted to score. That was his raison d'etre. He just wanted to score goals. So I can understand Rooney, but I'm going to have to give it to Shearer for me.
Wow, I would have been tempted with Rooney, I must admit. And I think Shearer was the player that he kicked Savage, so it's allowed.
Neil Lennon. No, it was Neil Lennon.
Oh, was it Neil Lennon? Oh well, no, it wasn't allowed. It would have been Savage. That wouldn't. I'd have forgotten it. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Neil Lennon nutted his head onto Alan Shearer's foot, didn't he?
Yeah, it's a fair challenge, mate. You shouldn't go into headbutt studs. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Neil Lennon should have known better. The rumours at the time, I believe, were that Shearer went to the FA, was captain, and went, "Yeah, if you're going to charge me, I'm not going to play for England." That could just be an alleged thing.
But there was that whisper that went around as well. But we also remember he retire fairly young as well in his own discretion, I believe. I don't remember.
He was a rubbish manager as well.
Well, yeah.
I'm putting Shearer there because it was 2 votes to 1, and had it gone 2 votes to Rooney, then I would have put Rooney in. Because to be honest with you, it was a hard decision between the two. But 2 votes. Sorry, Daniel.
Okay, mate, no worries. I don't mind. Shearer's good.
Yeah, you don't mind. Just have a drink.
How do you choose from them anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Daniel, at least, you haven't got the embarrassment of on live video putting a centre midfield under the left midfield position,
Well, no, because I did it with the left back and right back.
Yeah. That is true. I had forgotten that.
I wasn't alone. Thank God for that. Cheers, Daniel. You know how many
worries,
I don't
mate.
take it every time someone.
Craig, it was all kicking off when you weren't here. I tell you, right, left, in, out, shake it all about. Thank God you're here, Craig. That's all I can say.
I could have styled it and said that I'd gone for Gary Neville too, and you'd have never known, but I'm just being honest.
Honestly, never works in football. You should know that. Brad, is Vardy going to? We haven't got any Leicester players in there yet. I doubt we will. But who's going to be your last choice as the all-time England team up front with Shearer?
We're about to have a formal Fox in there. If it gets big, because I've known
good.
for years himself in Gary Lineker. You talk about someone who matched match what Shearer was like on the pitch. Before Kane, I believe he was the last England Golden Boot winner. A man that was infamously taken off in a game that was 0-0, and then we needed goals, and we took off the only goal that seemed to find the back of the net. Record again, you just have to look it up, along with a few of them that probably get mentioned by others. Had a great time in England. As soon as I knew, it was post 66, I took a certain Mr. Hurst out of my team and put Lineker down to partner Shearer. So, yeah, I went with Lineker alongside Alan Shearer.
Good choice. He was the fox in the box. He didn't like scoring outside the box, could he? But let's be honest with you, quite a few times there he's popped up when we've needed him, and well, he got the equaliser against Germany, didn't he, in the semi-finals that time? So, so close so many times. But Daniel, are you a Lineker in?
I've got Gary Lineker as well. 8 caps, 48 goals, golden boot winner, clever positioning, always in the right place at the right time, and could not.
This is where Craig goes.
He ran shit on the pitch, so got to have him, haven't you?
Yeah, you have, and I can remember. Was it Poland or Panama? I know it began with a P when he got a hat trick. Lineker,
Poland
in the World Cup.
Yeah, it's Poland.
Poland, and that kind of turned that World Cup around. That was Italia '90 as well. That was obviously, up until recently.
He was a clever player, wasn't he? I mean, he'd always be on the shoulder of a defender, and just nimble and fast feet and fast foot. He was.
And I don't think he ever missed a penalty for England, did he?
I don't know. And he may have done.
He also didn't get booked in his career, did he? In his entirety.
No.
He got carry over international as well.
Yeah, he did. And of course, he did put up with Tottenham for a few years, so you've got to give him a bit of credit for that, haven't you? Not to mention Japan, of course.
Yeah.
Craig?
Well, mine's a little bit controversial because he didn't always play up front, so I've gone for Paul Scholes.
I knew it. He had to do that out, didn't he? Yeah.
At least if he goes for Ashley Cole.
No. I'm gonna go for our old school chum, Gary Lineker. And of course, he famously did miss a penalty for England because he would have equalled Bobby Charlton's record if he hadn't have chipped that penalty against Brazil.
I don't remember that.
At the keeper, he could have equalled the record with Bobby Charlton at the time, and he tried to be clever and chipped it straight at the keeper against Brazil. So he missed out. I'm sure that's one of his biggest regrets. But
he did a young Kermagant, did he?
He did indeed, and but. If you needed a goal, you had to have Lineker on the pitch, and you knew while he was on the pitch, there was always a chance that you'd get one. And he came up with great goals at the right times for us. So has to be Lineker for me.
I must admit, and I'm going to take your superior knowledge on that with the penalty, but when you say it, you never know when you say these things with football. You're thinking, I think I kind of remember that. Or is it just the fact that you're so convincing when you say that? I just want to believe every word you say, Craig, And yes, I have sent you that £100 by bank transfer that you asked for earlier,
That's right.
Yeah. So we've got our team, guys. Here we go. So we've got Shelton in goal, Pearce, Butcher, Campbell, Neville as the back four, Waddle, Robson, Gerrard, Beckham across the midfield, Shearer and Lineker up front. Not a bad England team, that is it?
Not bad, is it? That
no. And I think, in fairness, whether it sums up England's fortunes or not, but they're all from around the same sort of period.
It's sort of 80s and early 90s.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go down the row again now, starting with Brad, because you've got to pick a captain.
Right, Paul Scholes is my captain. He's on the sidelines at the moment.
He's right back in the dressing room.
Yeah, he's my dressing room captain. But at this team, you could chuck the armband at 90% of that squad, and I'd be happy. So, you know what? Just because I'm part of the goalkeeping committee, can I just go with Shelton? Because I embarrassed myself and forgot he wasn't part of 66 as well. Can I just?
Well, he was England captain. Yep, he was England captain on many occasions.
Honestly, for me, when it comes to picking a captain, I knew there was going to be so many. I didn't even write one down because I thought I'm not really. I can argue for each one of them. So for me, goalkeeper's committed. We don't know our left from our right. Might scare a few people, but we certainly know where the goal is because we stand in it. So I'm going to go. I'll say Shelton's my captain and let these two battle it out if they don't agree.
How do you get on with your shoes, Brad?
I just wear duct. I just duct tape them. It's fine. I just put them on and duct tape them.
You probably walk like a duck if you put you on the wrong way round. Box on there for Brian Robson, who not sure if he'd be my choice yet, but certainly up there. Daniel?
I've gone for Stuart Pearce. Just because he's a leader and a motivator, so that's all I've gone for. And he epitomises the Bulldog spirit, so he's my captain.
You wouldn't necessarily argue with him if he said get in that wall and defend it. You just straight away Stuart. Yes,
but like you say, you can give it to anybody really. I mean, you can give it to Butcher, Beckham, Brian Robson. You know, there's so many leaders on there.
Yeah,
Pearce would be my pick as captain.
Now, Craig, you are probably going to be looking at somebody here like, you know, the almost, if you like. Can I say this? A quarterback, you know.
I don't know what you mean.
Somebody's, general on the field. You know, is that the kind of first thing you're looking for?
You could be right. You could be right there. I mean, you know, those Shelton and Pearce are decent shouts for me. The other one would be Butcher, but it's got to be Brian Robson for me. He covers every blade of grass when he was playing. He's up there. He's back defending. He was just for me. He's like every leader that you should want on a football pitch. And you know, he wasn't the greatest player, was he? He wasn't blessed with the skill. He was like a Roy Keane, you know, similar to that kind of player. Doesn't have all the skills, but just wins up by heart. And for me, it has to be Brian Robson.
Say hello to Ankit. You're late, Ankit. We're nearly finished. Typical Chelsea fan. Always late. Always late.
Don't go back to the start. Don't worry. We didn't confuse left back. I didn't put Scholes at left mid. There's none of all the room is lies, Ankit. You don't need to check at that part. Just skip to the centre mid part.
Ankit, you missed the England rap. And you know whether we have to do it again for you or not, I'm not sure. But
just add a C to the England rap, and I think you'll get an idea of how good it was.
Captain, you know I don't like, and Shelton's a Leicester player and Leicester lad and whatever. But you know I don't like goalkeepers as captains, Brad. Nothing against them. It's just not something that I like. Pearce, yeah. I mean he's. I like it. Like I said, Daniel. You know you say he says jump and you go how tall. You see, Beckham's a good shout, but because it could be, he leads by example. He leads by example. But like Brad said, you know, there's so many on there. Butcher, Campbell, you know, they've all been captain. Shearer was captain in his time, but you know, I've got to go and the guy will probably fall off his chair now, and I agree with him. I've got to go with Brian Robson and agree with Craig, because literally... This is the first time in 10 months we've actually agreed. Oh, you're back. First time in 10 months we've agreed. No, you made the valid point, is that he did cover every blade of grass. You know, he would be up. He was a midfielder, but he was up there scoring, as we said, with that goal. But you'd find him back defending as well. And I think as well, he'd be one of those players when he was injured that he still would, be sort of captaining from the side, if you like. Not a problem, Brad. Got your message. Thank you very much. So that's the team. That's the captain. Guys, that was good. Although you did shoot me down for my choice, my one choice of Steven Gerrard, but I wanted to put Gazza in so much, but I met him. He's a pisshead, and I couldn't understand a word he said. Just for that reason alone, like I said, had he touched that ball against Germany, yeah, I would have put him in, but he missed it.
I tell you what, Chris. Just quickly before I go, I know you said we couldn't do any 66 players because obviously we'd have put the 11 in pretty much between us, and we've done a captain. So can we just say that you never said we couldn't pick them as the manager? So can we just all agree that Sir Alf Ramsey would be the manager of this 11 for England? It's the only way we can get a 66 in there.
I mean, that's another show, isn't it? The best ever England manager.
One, to be honest. How would he
Southgate.
It's definitely between,
he was a man of his time, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's between Ramsey and Graham Taylor, that's for sure.
Do I not like that? Do I not like that, Craig?
Yeah.
What about
Daniel? Who would you go for?
To be honest, I'd have to go for Bobby Robson.
Box sums it all up here. Big Sam, 1 game, 1 win, 100% record.
Can't argue with the record, can you?
No, no.
Bobby Robson, what a guy he was, lovely guy.
I just the thing that will always unfortunately hang over Alf Ramsey for me, of course, what he did was amazing. He got the knighthood and everything, but it's the fact that it was on home soil. And to me, if you win something on home soil, is it quite as good as winning it away? But I've got to go for Bobby Robson again.
We've only done it once. Personally, I think it doesn't matter if it was in Spain, Argentina, or England. I don't care.
Do you know who one of the most successful England managers is? Sven-Göran Eriksson.
Percentage-wise, I was just about to say it's Sven, isn't it?
Yeah, three quarters on the trot. 3 quarters on the trot, and one of the best win percentages. So, but do you know who's got a higher win percentage? One of the highest win percentages? Capello.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah. We said it yesterday. It was a strange one.
I'm trying to think of something I can say nice about Taylor for you, Craig, but I'm really, really struggling.
Apparently, he was a lovely guy, and that's it.
Hey, they all are. In fairness, you meet any of these guys, Martin Allen for Leicester, Ian Holloway for Leicester, Craig Levine, even. I've met these guys. All these guys, they are nice guys off the pitch. It's the job they do. Guys, it's been great. It's been a laugh. I love doing these shows, even though you say you give me a hassle when I do actually overrule you. But but thanks very much. I'm going to probably overrule you again tomorrow. Daniel, thank you for joining us. You get a night off tomorrow for being a good boy. Thank you very much. Take care, Daniel, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers.
Thanks for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. Brad and Craig, we've got the Fantasy 11 tomorrow.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm not talking about Jordan and Linda Lovelace and Debbie Dallas, your fantasy football team.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
It'd be interesting to see where Brad plays some of his players.
It will.
I've only done it once, and I've put Pickford at left back. So we're safe here. Safe all around.
Well, I tell you what, Southgate, you didn't know who he was going to put at left back, did you? So that is 7 o'clock tomorrow. I will see you then, guys. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for doing that. Craig, thank you for sticking with it and doing your hokey cokey bit, coming in, going out. I'm going to go get ready for my fourth show of the day, and I will see you all tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Thanks very much, guys.
All right, mate. Cheers, Brad. Cheers, Chris. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thanks to Craig, the wise old owl. Thanks to Brad, the owl who doesn't know his left from right, and thanks to Daniel, who kind of balances Brad out because he got it the other way around. Whew. That was it. I quite actually like that team. Let's just have a look at it again. There we go. Shelton in goal, Pearce, Butcher, Campbell and Neville across at the back. Midfield of Waddle, Robson, Gerrard and Beckham. I'm sticking with Gerrard. And Shearer and Lineker up front. How much would that team be worth? Yeah, a lot of money. I think you're right. Guys, I'm going to go. Thanks for joining in. Thanks for everybody who joined in on the chat. Ankit, Mel, Scott, Box. It's been great to have you all in. Thank you very much for joining us. Anybody that I've missed off, Dean, Hawkins, TM, thank you very much. I think I'm just about CG. It's been, we couldn't do it without you. It's been great. I'm going to be back, like I say, at 7 o'clock tomorrow when we're going to pick our fantasy team from last year. Will Craig pick any Leicester players? You don't know with them two, do you? Stay safe, guys. See you tomorrow at 7. Good night.
Hello,
now.
Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now.
Come to an end. But the fun doesn't have to stop here. If you have any questions, suggestions or feedback, head over right now to Twitter and Facebook and like, share and get involved. Join us next time.